First things first, time for stories to start your morning, and starting with a sideline Celtic. Gordon Hayward is expected to miss 4 weeks with an ankle sprain he suffered in the Game 1 win over Philly. Nick, what's the impact of Hayward's injury on this series?
Well, you feel terribly for him. He's been snake bit since he's gotten to Boston. He actually, under the radar, was great this year. Very efficient, I should say. 50% from the field, 38% from three, 85% from the line, giving you 17, 6, and 4 a night. On this series, Jenna, I don't think it has much impact at all. Boston's going to win. But I picked Antoine's beloved Boston Celtics to beat the Raptors in the next round. I think this has a major impact, Antoine, on their ability to go up against Pascal Siakam and that Raptors team in round 2. I think this is a major loss for them, Antoine.
I think it's going to impact them in this series, too. This is a huge loss. Al Horford only had 6 points. You got to expect him to come out and play a lot better for Philly. It makes this series longer than what it would have been. I thought the Celtics would win this series in 5. Now this may have extended this series down, gives Philly an opportunity. Gordon Hayward does a lot for the Celtics. He plays a power forward type role. He allows them to play a small lineup if they have to. His three-point ability, his ball handling. So he does a lot for the Celtics. They're going to miss him. I didn't have them beating the Raptors going into the second round. And now without Gordon Hayward, if they have to play that series without Gordon Hayward, that really hurts them. So this is a big miss for the Celtics. It's unfortunate because he's worked so hard to get himself back in great shape and back on the basketball court. I feel bad for the guy.
Wow.
Antoine, is there any positive to take through this where, like, hey, if we can get through the Sixers and hang on for the Raptors, we've got Gordon coming back and could actually provide a certain motivation to the Celtics?
It could. The positive. The thing is that you don't know what Kemba Walker's at. I know he played solid in Game 1. I just don't think he's 100%. When you watch the games, it's just how aggressive he plays right now. He's not really aggressive as much as we're used to seeing him. So I just don't think him. Right. He's not 100%. So right. It's gonna be tough. It's tough. It's gonna be really tough for the Celtics to make a deep run in the playoffs without having everybody 100%.
All right, moving on. Jimmy Butler, boy, he's heating up. Finished with a game-high 28 points as Miami topped the Pacers 113-101 yesterday. Twan, back to you. What'd you make of Jimmy Butler's performance?
I thought it was great. I thought he led the team offensively and defensively. I thought, his making play ability is second to none now. We didn't see this from Jimmy Butler a lot in his career, but with the three-point shooting that he have around him, he does a terrific job of getting 2 feet in the paint and finding open shooters. And defensively, he's just as good as anybody. I said this Monday, he's a top 3 defender in this league. He does a terrific job defensively. So I like where the Heat are at. The Heat are much deeper than the Pacers. This is going to be a tough series for the Pacers, especially if Victor Oladipo is not going to be able to go or how much he's going to be able to play.
Wilds, your best take since I've known you is your love for Jimmy Butler. He's just out here making bad playoff commercials, slinging coffee at 20 bucks a cup, and hitting killer threes. He didn't hit threes all year long. Made 29 of them at 24% for the season, and then hit back-to-back threes in TJ Warren's face to break the Pacers back. He has been so much fun through the bubble, and he was excellent. Your guy, Jimmy Buckets, Wilds, was excellent yesterday. What, Kevin?
What commercial didn't you like? The one where he's picking out the cowboy boots and singing?
Yeah, it's a terrible commercial. He's likable. What's
packing?
The product? What's the product? What's the product?
I think it's Jimmy Butler's coffee.
It's a terrible commercial.
By the way, guys, TJ Warren held to just 22, finally. Next up, Rockets roll. Moving on, Houston, no Russell Westbrook. Houston, no problem whatsoever. James Harden, 37 points, 6 of 13 from deep. It was a one-man show. Rockets take a 1-0 lead over the Thunder. Nick, you surprised Houston was able to dominate without Russ?
No, not at all. But we should note, we didn't put it on the bottom line. They got a win, but they also got half a loss because they lost the rebounding margin by double figures, right? That's how it works? Kevin, right? You lose the rebounding margin, it counts for half a game in the series. That's the rules, right? Because we can't just focus on the rebound. Oh, a quarter of a loss. Okay, so the Rockets are up 1 to a quarter in the series. I mean, listen, you bomb threes, Harden scores 37, but hey, they got out-rebounded. So big concern. Or are we only doing that when they lose and then being like, oh, they can't
only
rebound.
When they lose.
They can't rebound when they win or when they lose.
Being honest,
but Harden
only when they
was
lose.
Brilliant. Antoine Harden even got Chuck. He even got Charles Barkley on his corner for the first time maybe ever. Harden was great. I wasn't surprised by what we saw last night.
I was surprised, Nick. You know you were surprised. You didn't think Jeff Green was going to play as good as he played last night. He played great. They got great team.
That's true.
They got great team effort. But this is the Houston Rockets at their best. They make 23s, 28, 29 assists as a team. Harden goes for 37. They couldn't ask for a better game one performance. But the best thing about the whole thing for the Houston Rockets, they probably bought another 4 or 5 days for Russ. You don't have to bring them back probably now to game 4.
Yep.
So I think that's even that was even more important last night.
I agree with that.
All right, moving on. One seed struggles. There's a reason that Tuesday's the most upsetting day of the week. Just look at the NBA last night. Magic stunned the top-seeded Bucks. Dame stunned the top-seeded Lakers. And I stunned my kids, Nick, by giving them dessert last night. All right, Nick.
Wow, that is
Lakers
the biggest
lost.
upset.
I know, that is the biggest upset. Lakers lost, Bucks lost. Which of those one seeds do you think should be more concerned? Or my kids?
See, this is why I have to defend my integrity at the start of shows by like, will you finally admit you've been lying to the audience, Nick? Because Jenna stay lying to the audience. Now, I'm not going to throw her in the old people be lying category, but if the shoe fits, I mean, by saying she gave her kids dessert.
It doesn't
That
fit.
is an obvious lie. That didn't happen. Bring Harper or Quinn out there.
They tried
and we'll
Jell-O.
tell them they won't even know what dessert is.
Tried
Jell-O. They tried Jell-O for the first time. Sugar-free. Tried it. All right. More importantly.
It was.
Who should be more concerned? I would argue, Antoine, that neither of these teams should be overly concerned about this round. But if these are the two favorites to win the title. They've been all year. And if I have to pick a team to be concerned, I'm going to go with Milwaukee for this reason only. I wonder how tight the collar gets for Bud, and then for Giannis, and then for everyone else. Mike Budenholzer is an excellent regular season coach with a couple really head-scratching postseason flameouts on his resume. Giannis knows that the train that LeBron James had to ride, then Kevin Durant had to ride, and James Harden is currently on, which is you are such a great player, we in the media are going to crush you for not winning a championship. He's next on that train. And if they don't win the title this year, it is coming straight down the tracks at him. And I wonder about the supporting cast. If things start getting tight, do you know how different Dante DiVincenzo's NBA life is depending on what Giannis decides to do this offseason? If they win the title and Giannis stays, Dante's got it made for the next decade. I'm going to be able to play with one of the best players, not the best player, win a couple rings, get endorsements, be on national television. But if he leaves, then the Bucks go back to being what they had been every year since Kareem left before Giannis got there. That team, is it in Milwaukee? Is it in Wisconsin? Minnesota? Where's Milwaukee? That's who they would be.
It's in
Minnesota.
So
I think there is some anxiety, Antoine, for everyone on the Bucks that is different than the Lakers team because they don't have someone to shepherd them like LeBron who says, hey, I've been here, we've been here, here's what we need to do.